Welcome. Happy Monday, everyone. Hope you all had a great, happy, healthy weekend. It is Monday, January 13th, 2025, and you are watching Mets Daily. It's your brand new home for Mets content every single weekday, and whenever there's any breaking news, we are here to give it to you. I'm your host, Jake Brown, at Jake Brown Radio on all social. Make sure you share this video and share this channel. That's youtube.com/@MetsDaily with all your Mets fans, your friends, your family, your pets, your goldfish, whatever you got. Share the channel. We appreciate it. We had a really nice first week, and I'm excited to get this thing going. So smash that thumbs up. Every thumbs up helps. Ebert and Roper style. Give 2 thumbs up if you got them, if you got 2 working thumbs. And make sure you write a review, comment, all that jazz, and you can tweet me at Jake Brown Radio. Let's get right to it, right to Mets baseball. And before we do, we want to send our thoughts, our prayers, our condolences out to everyone right now in the West Coast, in Los Angeles, and what is happening with the fires there, because it is an absolute travesty. So we're praying for everyone out there. We hope you get back on your feet, and our prayers are sending out to you from here at Mets Daily. Let's get into it. First off, I waited to record today on this Monday, January 13th, because Sean Manaea, which we'll talk about, had his opening presser. But good I waited, because we also found out the Mets are reportedly out on Roki Sasaki. They're unlikely to sign the Japanese sensation, obviously 24 years old, dominant numbers, nasty stuff, could throw up to 100. Everything we know about Sasaki is, he's going to be a revelation in the big leagues. But, the Yankees are out, and now the Mets also reportedly out, according to multiple people, from Will Salmon to other reporters, Andy Martino. They're all saying the Mets unlikely to sign Roki Sasaki. And it looks like he's out with the Giants as well. So like we thought, it feels like the Dodgers. It's down to the Dodgers and Padres of what it feels like. And the rich get richer. Do the Dodgers need him? No. Are they going to be even more of the Affinity Stones and Avengers with him? Yes. And it'll be another, tough pitcher for the Mets to have to face potentially in a series in October. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, but it seems like we're getting close to the finish line, and either this week or next week we will finally get the news on Roki Sasaki and where he will end up. So that leaves us, ask us this question. How does the Mets rotation look now that Sasaki unlikely will be a Met? Well, let's take a look. It's okay. I think it's better than what a lot of people think. So up top, Manaea, who we'll get into in a second, coming off an incredible year, a mainstay in this rotation. Not your prototypical ace, and maybe you put Senga at 1, Manaea at 2, however you want to, make that work, but he's still solid. He's still coming off a great year. He changed his arm slot. Again, we'll talk about that, but that's a solid 1-2 punch. Manaea was really great in the second half, had a couple good playoff starts, and he's important for this team. Kodai Senga, it's like people forget about. This guy had a sub-3 ERA in 2023. He only made 1 start in 2024, and it was that game against the Braves. I was the one with the OMG sign that night, holding that up in the air. Everyone was excited. The Mets took over the wild card lead. It was all good and grand until, Senga went down with the injury. But people forget, that goes forkball, that put-out pitch. He was one of the best pitchers in baseball in 2023. And I'm excited in 2025 to see Senga back in the mound. David Peterson, career year, 2.9 ERA. Obviously, working with Jeremy Hefner, he was absolutely remarkable for the Mets last season. He was unhittable at times. I think his issue, can he repeat that performance? And can he get deeper into games? I think his issue sometimes is getting through the 6th inning. But what we saw to David Peterson coming off that hip surgery is this kid is good. And that 1 through 3 is really good. I think a lot of people are like, look at the Mets rotation. They have no names. This is where it gets a little shaky. Frankie Montas, Clay Holmes, however you want to, number those. 1 might be 4, 1 might be 5. Montas, David Stearns looks at Jeremy Hefner being able to work with Frankie Montas, looks at Sean Manaea being able to work with him because they're like best friends, and get him back to the Montas we saw maybe with the A's 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Montas coming off a bad year. The year before with the Yankees, he was essentially out all season with an injury. So this could be a bounce back year for Frankie Montas. They're looking at Montas as their 2024 Luis Severino. A guy who's coming off the worst year of his career. Can he get a bounce back? He's got the stuff. He obviously eats innings. He makes starts. He's a 30-start machine. So he will go out there every 5 or 6 days. The question is how successful he would be. And then Clay Holmes has not been a starter since his rookie year, 2018 with the Pirates. Will it work? Listen, this guy made 2 All-Star teams the last 3 years. Yankee fans will say good luck with him. Well, he's not a closer here. So I think he could work out. So he's left to be seen. And then, depth additions, Griffin Canning, and then Blackburn, who we saw for a couple weeks before he got hurt. Paul Blackburn, Griffin Canning, guys who can make spot starts. And again, Canning, they're hoping to work with Hefner, be a bounce-back candidate. Can he be a guy in this rotation? So I think the Mets rotation is better than people think. Could they use another arm? Yes. But they essentially have 7 starters and even 8 if you want to include Tyler McGill. So it's not a murderer's row rotation, but I think it's better than a lot of what the critics are saying. And, the guy up top is their tribal chief, and he was introduced in the opening press conference from his car. So clearly, on vacation or maybe not good Wi-Fi, did it from his car. And, man, Sean Manaea, what a guy, what a leader. I found it very interesting. He kind of pointed out his wife loving the family side and his wife getting along with other player wives to the point where you saw Katia Lindor posting Manaea with his wife. They're hanging out. They're together like in the off season here in January. He's on, their Instagram story and they're hanging out. And that is so critical for this Mets team to have the cohesion like that. And he mentioned about Pete Alonso and that they've been working out together. But he talked about the family, like Juan Soto said, and how important this coaching staff was, and really emphasized coaching and family. And I think that's important for a Mets team that hasn't always had this kind of really good culture. And he was fantastic. I mean, look at the numbers last season for Sean Manaea. The guy was just a stud. And he credits Hefner, he credits the coaching staff, but look at his numbers across the board. These are all career highs. 3.47 ERA, career high. And this is obviously minimum 5 starts. He had 1 year, he had a better ERA, but he only made 5 starts. So minimum 6 starts, we'll say, the career highs across the board. Innings, 181 2/3. His record, 12-6. Amount of starts tied for his career high at 32. And hits per 9 is a remarkable stat here and shows you how good Sean Manaea really was. 6.6. The next highest number, 7.9. So this is a guy who really cut down the hits, really, and that's essentially 7 innings. He's given up 3 or 4 hits, which is just insane, which means he was dominant for the Mets this season. And all those stats show you, but Jeremy Hefner can turn molehills into mountains. We'll say the opposite. He can turn average pitchers great. And a lot of people look at Sean Manaea, they're like, he's not an ace. But I think what's important also about this is the money thing. This guy took $23.25 million in deferred money. That is critical for the Mets. The Los Angeles deferred are famous for that, but the Mets don't. The Mets are famous for it because of Bobby Bonilla, but otherwise the Mets don't do that a lot in terms of big free agents deferring a lot of money. That's essentially 1 year's deferred, and this essentially turns into like a $22 million deal. Which again, the word essentially, which I've overused already, take a shot for every time I say essentially. Is cheaper than Luis Severino in terms of AAV at the present day value. So took less money. Everyone loves him in the clubhouse. This guy is just a godsend for this team. And I hope he has another amazing year for the New York Mets. Another godsend for this team who was really beloved in this clubhouse was, oh my God, Jose Iglesias, a.k.a. Candelita, the artist of the #1 song on the Latin music charts. And this was fascinating. On Chris Rose's show with John Boy Media, Nick Castellanos says Jose Iglesias was his 2024 National League MVP. Well, Mr. Castellanos, I was not familiar with your game. The Phillies are open for business for trading. Hey, Nick, do you want to be the Mets DH? We like you now. We like you, Nick. BDN, as they call the other former quarterback for the Phillies. Nick Castellanos. I love his points he made. He essentially said the Latin flavor that Iglesias added, the spark he added to the locker room, the clubhouse, the OMG sign, the song, the aura that he brought to the New York Mets was unforeseen. The Mets were the best team in baseball from the day Iglesias got there on May 30th till the end of the year. They were the best team in baseball in terms of record. So he's not wrong in terms of the most valuable to a team. Jose Iglesias proved to be very valuable. And by the way, he was the most clutch hitter on the team. Anytime runners in the scoring position, he was the guy you wanted up. So I love that comment from a Philly. For once, I loved something a Philly says because usually they say some bad stuff about the Mets. Castellanos crediting Jose Iglesias. Do I think he's back? I hope so, but I think he hired Scott Boras for a reason as his agent. And, it's not working for Pete Alonso very well, but He wants to get paid this offseason, and he deserves to get paid. And I don't know if the Mets are in a position with all their infielders, with Mauricio and Acuna on the way. They still have Beatty, although he should be traded. They still have McNeil, although he should be traded. I don't know if they're positioned to pay Iglesias a big amount when he's probably not going to be an everyday player here, and a mid-market team he probably could be. So I hope Candelita's back. I love Jose Iglesias, his aura, OMG sign. Maybe we get another OMG remix. We already have Pitbull, my bald brother, Mr. 305 on Mr. 205 on the first remix. Maybe we get another. But I think in the end, he probably goes elsewhere where he gets a chance to play every day. But I do hope the Mets, take into account the value he does bring to this clubhouse, because I think every Met in that clubhouse wants Candelita, Jose Iglesias, back on the team. Thanks, everybody, for watching Mets Daily. Smash that thumbs up. Share this with your Mets fan friends. I'm Jake Brown, at Jake Brown Radio on YouTube and all social media. We'll be back again tomorrow right here on Mets Daily. Thanks for watching.